You see, love is not just words. Love is action. And when it comes to someone with an avoidant attachment style, recognizing their love requires awareness, patience, and insight. Avoidants are naturally wired to protect themselves, to hold back, to retreat. But here's the profound truth. When an avoidant begins to break their own patterns, when they start moving towards you instead of away, that is not coincidence. That is love in its most courageous form. The first sign is prioritization. You will notice them carving out time for you, even when life is busy, even when their instincts tell them to pull back. And that, my friends, is transformational. It is the ultimate demonstration of value, because what we make time for reveals what we truly treasure. If an avoidant prioritizes you, they are saying without words, you matter to me. You are worth the risk. Then comes vulnerability. This is where the magic happens. Avoidance fear being seen too deeply, fear rejection, fear emotional pain. But when they start sharing even the smallest fragments of their inner world, their doubts, their fears, their moments of weakness, they are showing love at a divine level. Love is not perfect. Love is real, and it is born when someone dares to be seen. Next, notice consistency. It's easy to say you care, but much harder to show up again and again. When an avoidant takes steps to communicate consistently, to check in, to respond even when it feels uncomfortable, that is growth fueled by love. Consistency is the bridge from fear to connection. It says, I am willing to be here even when it's scary. Then pay attention to their acts of care. Avoidants don't usually go out of their way. But when they do, when they remember your preferences, support your dreams, notice the little things, they are signaling something profound. They're putting your happiness above their comfort. That is sacred love. Love is action before it is words, and an avoidant showing care is an act of courage and commitment. Finally, observe their long-term vision. Avoidants are future-focused in their independence. But when they start including you in their plans, talking about experiences together, envisioning growth and connection, that is the pinnacle of love. It tells you, I see a life with you, and I am willing to face my fears to make it happen. So here's the truth I want you to take with you. Love is not about chasing, not about convincing, not about changing someone else. Love is about recognizing the signs of growth, courage, and devotion, even in the most unlikely hearts. When an avoidant does these things, when they show vulnerability, consistency, care, prioritization, and vision, they are not just in love. They are transforming themselves for love. And that, my friend, is the ultimate gift, the ultimate truth, the ultimate miracle of the human heart. Love is not passive. Love is a force that transforms fear into connection. When you see these signs, honor them, celebrate them, and receive them with gratitude, because love is showing up even when it's hard, even when it scares them. And that is powerful. That is divine. That is real. When an avoidant begins to prioritize time with you, it is one of the most profound signs that they are falling in love. Avoidants are naturally wired to protect their personal space, their independence, and their comfort. For them, closeness often triggers fear of vulnerability, fear of being overwhelmed, fear of losing control. So when someone like this starts to deliberately carve out time for you, it is not a casual choice. It is a conscious decision that requires courage, intention, and the willingness to step into discomfort. It is an act that says, without words, you are worth my energy, my attention, and my time. Prioritization is the language of value. Time is one of the most precious resources we have. We cannot create more of it. It is finite, and every moment we give to someone reflects what we hold important. For an avoidant who instinctively guards their schedule and emotional bandwidth, choosing to spend moments with you is transformative. It means they are actively shifting their patterns, disrupting their instinct to retreat and replacing it with a conscious effort to connect. They are essentially saying, you matter more than my fears, more than my habits, more than my comfort zone. That is not something that should be overlooked, dismissed, or taken for granted. You will notice that this prioritization may not always look conventional. It might start with small gestures, a quick message to check in, a spontaneous phone call, or making plans even when it seems inconvenient. It might evolve into bigger investments, like carving out weekends together, joining activities that are outside their usual routine, or attending important events in your life. Each action, no matter how small, represents a step toward emotional intimacy. What's powerful here is the awareness that every moment an avoidant willingly spends with you is a step against their instinctive desire to pull away. It is a choice that demonstrates courage and devotion. Moreover, when an avoidant prioritizes you, it is not just about physical presence, it is about mental and emotional presence as well. It is about showing up consistently, engaging meaningfully, and being present in ways that matter to the relationship. They may not always articulate their feelings openly, but their actions reveal the truth. In love, actions often speak louder than words, and for someone who struggles with attachment, their willingness to align their time with you is a profound declaration of commitment. This prioritization is also a reflection of self-growth. Love has a way inspiring transformation. When an avoidant chooses to make space for you, they are expanding their capacity to love, to trust, and to be vulnerable. They are challenging the patterns that have kept them distant, demonstrating that love has the power to shift even the most guarded heart. When you witness this, recognize it as a sacred signal. It is an expression of care, of courage, and of a deeper connection that cannot be feigned. When an avoidant begins to show vulnerability, it is one of the clearest and most profound signs that they are in love. By nature, avoidants are protective of their inner world. They have learned, often through past experiences, that exposing emotions, fears, or insecurities can leave them feeling unsafe, overwhelmed, or rejected. Their instinct is to guard their heart, to create distance, to maintain control. But love has a unique power. It challenges even the deepest defenses. It breaks down walls and it inspires courage that often surprises both the giver and the receiver. When an avoidant begins to share pieces of their inner world with you, it is a declaration of trust, a sacred act of courage, and an unmistakable signal of emotional investment. Vulnerability in an avoidant doesn't always look dramatic. It may start subtly, small admissions of doubt, fleeting mentions of past pain, or honest expressions of uncertainty. It may be a simple question like, "Do you really care about me?" Or "I'm scared of getting too close." Even these small, seemingly fragile openings are monumental. Each time they allow themselves to be seen, they are stepping into a space that feels risky and exposing. And this is no small thing. To show vulnerability is to take the ultimate emotional risk, to reveal the parts of themselves they usually keep hidden. It is a signal that they are beginning to dismantle their walls for the sake of connection. True vulnerability goes beyond words. It is reflected in their actions, in the ways they let you into routines or patterns that were previously private. It is in the way they pause to listen, to respond with honesty rather than avoidance, and to engage in conversations that require depth. When an avoidant shares their inner fears, doubts, or dreams with you, they are essentially saying, "I trust you with my heart. I am willing to be seen by you, even if it's uncomfortable." And this trust is sacred. It cannot be forced, fabricated, or rushed. It is earned, nurtured, and reciprocated through consistent care and presence. Vulnerability from an avoidant is transformative, both for them and for the relationship. It signals growth, an expansion of their emotional capacity, and a willingness to risk discomfort for intimacy. Love does not always arrive with ease, especially for those who have learned to retreat from closeness. But when they begin to show vulnerability, they are choosing you over fear. They are acknowledging that connection, authenticity, and love are worth more than the safety of distance. Recognizing this vulnerability is crucial. It is easy to mistake avoidant tendencies for indifference or emotional unavailability. But when you witness these moments of openness, no matter how brief or hesitant, you are seeing their heart in action. You are witnessing a choice that transcends fear, a conscious decision to engage, to connect, and to risk for the sake of love. This is one of the most powerful, transformative gifts an avoidant can offer. And when you honor and respond to this vulnerability with empathy, patience, and care, you create a space where love can flourish and deepen in ways that are both extraordinary and enduring. Consistency in communication is one of the most powerful signals that an avoidant is truly in love. Avoidants naturally tend to retreat, pull back, or disappear when emotions start to feel intense or overwhelming. Their instinct is to maintain distance to protect themselves from perceived vulnerability or loss of control. But when an avoidant begins to reach out consistently, to check in, and to stay engaged even when it might feel uncomfortable, that is not coincidence. That is love in action. It is a conscious choice to step into connection rather than retreat into isolation. When an avoidant communicates consistently, they are breaking a deeply ingrained pattern. They are challenging their own instincts, their automatic responses that have kept them distant. Every time they send a message, make a call, or show up when they could easily disappear, they are demonstrating that your presence matters more than the safety of their solitude. This consistency is not just a habit. It is a declaration of commitment, a tangible sign that they are willing to invest energy into the relationship, even when it requires courage. The beauty of consistent communication is that it builds trust and emotional intimacy. For someone who has experienced avoidance or distance, uncertainty can feel like a threat. But when they make an effort to connect regularly, it reassures you that they are present, that they care, and that they are willing to prioritize the relationship over their instinct to pull away. It is a profound shift from fear to connection, from self-protection to mutual engagement. This is where love begins to transform from a feeling into a lived experience. It is important to recognize the small yet powerful ways this consistency manifests. It may be as simple as a message to see how your day is going, a thoughtful question that shows they are listening, or remembering important details about your life. It might evolve into regular check-ins, shared routines, or spontaneous moments of connection. Each action signals intention, showing that they are not only thinking of you but also willing to put in the effort to maintain the bond. It reflects growth, self-awareness, and a desire to deepen the relationship despite natural tendencies to retreat. Consistent communication also demonstrates vulnerability, because it requires the avoidant to face discomfort. There are times when they may feel anxious, uncertain, or even fearful about how their messages will be received. Yet they choose to reach out, to engage, and to show up. This is love taking action. It is not passive, it is active, intentional, and transformative. When you witness this, it is essential to honor it, recognize it, and respond with gratitude and presence, because you are seeing the avoidance pattern soften and the heart open. Ultimately, when an avoidant communicates consistently, they are signaling more than attention. They are signaling devotion, trust, and the willingness to grow alongside you. Consistency is the bridge that transforms distance into intimacy, fear into courage, and isolation into connection. It is a divine principle at work, showing that love is not just a feeling to be experienced, but a force that inspires transformation, risk, and commitment. When an avoidant begins performing acts of care and consideration, it is one of the most tangible and profound signs that they are in love. Avoidants naturally prioritize independence, personal space, and self-preservation. Their instinct is to remain distant, to avoid emotional entanglement, and to protect themselves from potential hurt. Yet love has a unique way of softening even the most guarded hearts. When they start engaging in thoughtful gestures, remembering details about your life, or showing up in ways that support your happiness, it signals a remarkable shift. It demonstrates that their concern for your well-being has begun to outweigh their instinct to stay detached. These acts may initially appear small, sending a message when they know you are stressed, remembering your favorite coffee or meal, or noticing details about your mood and responding accordingly. But in truth, these seemingly small actions carry immense weight. They are the subtle language of love, a language that avoids grand declarations but communicates devotion through presence, attentiveness, and thoughtfulness. For an avoidant, these gestures are not habitual. They require intentional effort. Every time they act with care, they are making a conscious choice to invest in your happiness, to step outside of their comfort zone, and to demonstrate that you are significant in their life. Over time, these acts of consideration become even more powerful as they build a consistent pattern. Avoidants who are truly in love begin to anticipate your needs, to notice things before you have to ask, and to respond in ways that show they are attuned to your world. It might be offering emotional support during a difficult moment, helping in practical ways when life gets overwhelming, or making sacrifices to ensure your well-being. Each act is a reflection of their inner transformation, their willingness to prioritize connection over distance, to choose love over fear, and to embrace vulnerability through action. What is extraordinary about these gestures is that they are rooted in authenticity. Avoidants may struggle with verbal expression or deep emotional openness, but their actions speak volumes. In fact, for many avoidants, actions are the most sincere form of communication. When they show care consistently, it is not performative. It is intentional. It is love expressed in tangible form, demonstrating that they are willing to align their behavior with their growing feelings. This is a sacred principle. Love is not simply a feeling. It is an active, living force that drives us to expand, to sacrifice, and to give without expectation. Recognizing these acts of care requires awareness, patience, and gratitude. Love from an avoidant may not always arrive in the ways we expect, but it is deeply present and transformative when it does. Each gesture, no matter how subtle, is a signal of their heart opening, their trust growing, and their willingness to invest in a relationship that requires courage, consistency, and commitment. Acts of care and consideration are not just proof of love. They are the living expression of a heart learning to connect, to nurture, and to embrace vulnerability. When an avoidant begins including you in their long-term vision, one of the most profound and undeniable signs that they are in love. Avoidants are naturally cautious about attachment, often focused on maintaining independence and protecting themselves from emotional pain. Their default mindset is rooted in short-term thinking, self-preservation, and minimizing vulnerability. Yet love has the extraordinary power to shift perspective, to inspire growth, and to transform fear into vision. When an avoidant starts seeing a future that includes you, they are stepping beyond their instincts, embracing possibility, and demonstrating a willingness to commit to something bigger than themselves. This long-term vision may begin subtly. They might casually mention future plans and include you in the scenario, ask your opinion on decisions that affect the months or years ahead, or discuss dreams that inherently involve your presence. Even these small inclusions are monumental because they reveal an internal shift from independence to interdependence. For an avoidant, acknowledging that someone else could share their future is not trivial. It is a courageous leap of faith. It is a recognition that love is not just for the present moment, but a force that can shape the trajectory of life itself. When an avoidant begins to create a long-term vision with you, it signals that they are investing not only emotionally, but also strategically in the relationship. They are beginning to imagine growth, shared experiences, and mutual goals. They are moving from the mindset of I alone to we together. This is transformative because love, at its highest expression, is not about mere presence. It is about inclusion, intentionality, and alignment. They are demonstrating that you are integral to their aspirations, not just a temporary companion, but a partner in their life journey. The beauty of this long-term vision is that it reflects deeper values of trust and courage. Avoidants often fear commitment because it demands vulnerability and the surrender of control. But when they consciously include you in their plans, they are challenging these fears. They are saying without words, I trust you. I see a life with you. I am willing to face uncertainty and discomfort for the sake of our connection. This willingness to envision a shared future is a remarkable act of love because it is rooted in courage and conscious choice, not obligation or habit. Moreover, this vision transforms the relationship itself. When someone begins planning a future with you, it creates a sense of stability, security, and mutual growth. It opens the door to deeper intimacy, shared dreams, and alignment of values. Love becomes more than emotion. It becomes a deliberate living force that shapes decisions, behaviors, and life paths. Recognizing this in an avoidant is crucial because it marks a shift from avoidance to engagement, from self-protection to connection, from fear to faith in love's transformative power. Ultimately, when an avoidant begins including you in their long-term vision, it is a sacred signal of trust, commitment, and transformation. It shows that they are willing to expand beyond fear, embrace vulnerability, and invest in a future that is not just about themselves, but about the U.S. they are building. This vision is a living declaration that love is powerful enough to change patterns, open hearts, and create a shared destiny. When you witness this, it is not just evidence of love, it is evidence of a profound, divine principle, that love has the power to transform even the most guarded hearts into vessels of connection, courage, and lasting devotion. Thank you for your time and for opening your heart to these insights. Wishing you courage, love, and transformation on your journey. Goodbye for now.